that Maram Road from up there was passing through here, Digital Road. So one day, I and my wife went to look for a house to hire. If you count from here, house number 1, 2, 3, house number 4. House number 4 before you reach the white hotel they are building now. House number 4 on this side. So it was owned by a man called Mr. Bachengana. We went there. We are trying to rent it. My family had grown. My wife and I, 2 of us, by that time we had about 4 children. We had also people staying with us, like the Kayanjas, the Sofas and others, and Pastor Mondo. So we went there to look for the owner of that house. And we found him there. He was called Mr. Bachengana. He's also the owner of Central Inn Hotel in Bugonga, just after Lake Victoria Primary School. Eventually also became the deputy mayor of Entebbe municipality. So by that time, we went to look for that house. It was vacant. We visited it. We inspected it. We asked him to rent it to us. I was putting on a cap, a coffee, and we began to discuss the amount. But during the discussion, I don't know what touched it, moved me around. I removed my cap because I thought I was speaking to an elder, having a cap on my head, which is in Buganda, you are being disrespectful of an elder with a cap on your head. So I removed it. And when I removed it, he recognized that this was Pastor Entebbe. And said, hey, Kumba, I've been talking to Pastor Entebbe. Pastor Entebbe, I cannot rent you my house. Where will you get the money from? I can't. You want to rent this house? Where will you get the money to rent this house? The man spoke to me directly in his house, with my wife on my left side. And he said, Pastor Entebbe, I cannot rent you this house because you are poor and you won't be able to pay me rent. Just before my face. Don't worry what people speak about you. If you have got a promise of God on your life, time will tell. What is more important is the promise of God on your life, not the current situation. The man spoke before my face, my wife on my left side, and he said, I cannot rent my house to you because you don't have the money. I tried to beg. The man said, I cannot. And even said, get out of my gate. We moved out. There are certain things I'll never forget in life. Child of God, what matters is what God promised you. Your clapping is a bit sickly, but if you really understood my message, because basically my message is very practical, my message is very testimonial, and many times it corresponds with pictures to prove the point. The man spoke before my face and said he cannot rent the house to me. I want to thank God that by the time he passed away, he was the deputy mayor of Entebbe. Eventually he came into politics and they made him the deputy mayor of Entebbe. I think he was the deputy of Kabuye or Bakayanja? Kabuye. He was deputy mayor of Kabuye. And by that time, God has started blessing me. So one time, he called me from his mayor's office. He said, Pastor Entebbe, I want to meet you. Could we please have an appointment? And I said, yes. Could you come to my office? I said, no. You better come to my office. So the guy drove his car all the way to the office here. And he told me the reason why I've come here, I'm coming here to represent Entebbe Municipal Council. We are looking around people who have got entrepreneurship mind and abilities, and people who can sponsor and support our municipal council. We are trying to begin a project of street parking. So we are looking for people like you who can support us, and you invest your money to get a company to put these lines on the road where the cars can park. I looked at him in my office. He's begging me to sponsor the putting of street lines on. You saw those white street lines on the road where cars park? So when they were sitting in their municipal council there, my name was among the names considered to be a sponsor. And the same man who refused me to rent me his house, now he's trying. I spoke it publicly to him, but inside of me, I said, this is the man who chased me out of his house that I cannot rent it. He called and called and called. And one day he still drove and came. I said, my brother, we have a lot of financial obligations to take care of. I don't think we shall be able to meet that obligation. But I'm trying to show you that a man who chases you away will be coming for help from you another time. Why? Because of the promise of God upon your life. It is very, very important in these things of things we do in this earth, always to be trustable. And those are the message I'm going to give my son. Be trustable. Live as an example. Do what you are supposed to do at that particular time. Do not become somebody else. I chose in these 33 years not to become somebody else. I know what I can preach to make this church full in 3 months. I know the message people need more. I can preach it and everybody will come here. Teach about demons, you teach about curses, you give water, you promise this, you prophesy. This church will be full in 1 month. But I don't want to become somebody else. I want to be what God called me to be. I also encourage you to be what God called you to be. If you do what God called you to do, He will meet every obligation. He will meet every financial obligation and every support, and God will fulfill His promises upon your life. Somebody clap your hands to the Lord. So I was like a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit. You know, when somebody chases you from his gate, claiming that you don't have the money to pay his rent, of course you get out grieved. I wish he had not died, because now I built a better house than his. And we are just neighbors. He's on this road, I'm on the other road. Between us, there is only one house. I wish that man was alive today to stand on the roof of his house and see my home. That my home is higher than his now. That's what God is able to do. Somebody chasing you today, abusing you, will be looking for help from you tomorrow, because of the promise of God upon your life. Somebody clap your hands to the Lord. Okay, now the remaining verses, because of time, we have only 10 minutes left. The remaining verses, we're just going to read them. And I just want to let you know that even these ones have also been, upheld. But in verse number 6, we lived a rejected life. Both me, my wife, and all the people who are serving with me, the Kayanjas and others, all of us, we are rejected in this city. Our neighbors rejected us. Our families rejected us. our, even our families. For Pastor Kahanja here, he was even chased out of the house. He